Its GPS functions provide users with accurate running, swimming, cycling, and hiking functions, and the device is fully compatible with Garmin's bevy of fitness-oriented accessories based on ANT Plus connectivity, so you can connect your separate pedometer, speedometer, or heart rate monitor with the Fenix 3 as well. The device includes GPS and GLONASS antennas for accurate tracking, a barometric altimeter for accurate pressure altitude information, and you also have a barometer, 3D compass, and other features that help users even planning running routes on the go. What makes this device a smartwatch is that it sports a 1.2-inch color chroma display that's visible in direct sunlight, and also supports Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. This allows the watch to interact with either iOS or Android devices and provide users with notifications from text messages, email, phone calls, etc. It features a live track technology that allows family members to track you if needed, and it also syncs your fitness data with Garmin's Connect application, so you really don't need to carry your smartphone on a run or training. We couldn't avoid our geek curiosity in understanding how this company manages to sell you a fashionable smartwatch that you don't have to recharge. Starting with the basics, this company is very clear in the fact that this is a watch first above everything and a smartwatch second, so fashionable design and materials and even color options are what you see most at their booth. You can replace the 22mm watch bands just like you can with every regular watch, and it even sports an analog display just like every regular watch as well. It's even powered like a regular watch, where you don't really have a rechargeable battery pack, and it doesn't even include a charging module. All you have to replace is a CR2032 battery every 6 to 9 months through a stainless steel coin module at the bottom. What makes this a smartwatch is that it does support Bluetooth LE connectivity to any iOS 7 or above device or any Android 4.3 device or above. The internal portion of the display is actually a black and white liquid crystal at the top, and it also includes icons for mail, messaging, phone calls, calendar, and even smartphone low battery notifications at the bottom. If you get a phone call, the phone icon at the bottom lights up and the smartwatch will either vibrate or beep depending on your settings, and the caller ID is shown at the top display. Similar functionality works with calendar appointments, messaging, and others, but the secret to keeping a 6 to 9 month battery life is by limiting the amount of information that's transmitted between the watch and your smartphone. So what you'll see on the display is fairly limited. The display later gives you options for dual time display or just your current time in a digital format. The functionality works through an iOS or Android application with a bevy of customizable options, from what the buttons on the sides will do to giving you the ability to control your music, to even triggering the camera and even finding your smartphone or finding the watch. A recent update being demoed here at MWC is their new activity tracking service, which is also part of the application and which gives you your step count, among other fitness tracking.
If you're a sportsman of the two, then the Huawei watch slots somewhere in between, without falling into the trap of aping either. The casing is 316L stainless steel, and thicker than the 360, but not so tall as to be off-putting. Kind of like a medium-sized slammer, if you played Pogs back when wristwatches were just wristwatches. There's the requisite heart rate monitor on the back, and you've got a choice of bands as well, gold link or black leather on the units we tested, with the metal band snapping open and shut with an elegant butterfly clasp. The front side is of course dominated by the display, a 400 by 400 round panel with 286 pixels every inch. Huawei also claims a 1,000 to 1 contrast ratio, and while that might not be apparent here, since the demo units were locked at their absolute maximum brightness, I can confirm that the screen is quite a looker in person. It reminds me of the G-Watch R, and that goes for the size too. At 1.4 inches it's a little smaller than I'd like. It looks much smaller than the 1.56-inch screen on the Moto 360, though the quality is much higher. And the raised ridge around the side of the Huawei watch sometimes makes interactions a little dicey. Of course, Android Wear is just Android Wear, and this is very early hardware and software, with a demo mode running on top. We'll see how it does in the...
The LG Watch Urbane. This is LG's latest Android Wear device, and a big step up in terms of design compared to the last LG smartwatch, the G-Watch R. You can see here we've got a lovely polished metal design, Similar kind of physical styling to it, but just a much classier looking wearable here. And you can see around the back, similar design, but just a step up in terms of the appearance compared to the last LG wearable. We have a lovely soft leather strap with stitching around the outside. And on the software side, nothing we haven't really seen before. This is Android Wear 5.0.2. What we do have are a few new watch faces that we can play with, though. Including some gold options, and we do actually have a gold version of the watch itself here, with a different reflective trim around the outside. So on the inside, this is running pretty much the same hardware that you would expect to find in any Android Wear watch. 1.3-inch plastic OLED display, just like the G Watch R, and it looks just as nice as what we've been using on that device for the past few months. So the software really is the known quantity. The hardware is what's really new here, and LG is bringing a much more premium looking design to its latest smartwatches, and you can see just the difference in appearance and style compared to the G Watch R there. It really is kind of night and day in terms of the style of these two devices. So that's the LG Watch Urbane, the Android Wear version. This is going to be coming in the next couple of months, LG says, and we'll bring you more on this device when we can. Thanks for watching.
It's the full Apple Watch, so this one is $599, and this is my first time using one that's actually working and getting to play around with all the different interaction modes. So for example, you can swipe down from the top to get your notifications. You can scroll through them with your finger, but that's kind of twitchy, so that's where the digital crown comes in. Trying to actually spin it with your thumb is sort of hokey, but if you just take one finger and move up and down on it, it actually feels pretty good. And I found that this is got a little bit more resistance than the original Apple Watch demo that we tried last year, so I'm pretty happy with it. If you hit it, you go back home, and you can hit it again to go to your apps. You can scroll around with your apps with your finger. You can also zoom in and out with the digital crown. And there's just a few apps loaded up on here. There's one here is an Uber app, so we can load up Uber. And it may have a difficult time with the connectivity in here, but there it is. So I can just hit that button to request an Uber if I wanted to. Why not? Let's see what happens. There I guess we're requesting an Uber. So I'll hit the crown again to bring it back home. I can hit it again to go center it, and then hit it again to go back to the watch face. Now the other button here, if you hit it once, it takes you to a friends list, and you can scroll through with the digital crown to find the person you want to contact. Tap on their face, you tap call, theoretically it would call them. Or if he's not connected to the phone, send a message, so I'm going to tell this person I'm on my way. So the other thing you can do, if you swipe up from the bottom, you get to this area called glances. You set up which ones you want to have on your phone, and then you can swipe through to see a whole bunch of, customizable widget-style information. You can tap in to look at it. Again, hit the digital crown to go home. The last interaction that I got to try is force touch. So if you just hit the thing really hard, basically, it acts like a second tap, and then you can go through and look at your different watch faces. So I could select this one. I can even go through and tap on customize, and then I can tap on each element, choose what I wanted to show, each complication, and then when I'm done, that becomes my new watch face. So overall, it feels pretty good. Even this 42mm one feels a little bit small to me. I like a big watch, but it looks great. The leather feels really nice on my wrist. The crown, I thought it was kind of hokey, but I'm actually more impressed with it than I thought. It takes a while to sort of learn what all the different interactions are, but once you do, I imagine that's pretty simple. There you go. This is a working Apple Watch. It should be available in April. And again, this one's